Oh, hi, welcome. I'm Trisha O'Shaughnessy with Peoria Public Schools Foundation, and I want to welcome you all to Buzz Chat. I'm filling in for Cindy Morris again this week, and first and foremost, before I introduce our great guest, Sarah Fletcher, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, to the community, for coming out this morning for our 365 breakfast. It was fantastic. I hope you all were able to catch our other Facebook Live today with our program on our breakfast. But if not, it's on Facebook. It's on the district webpage. Please check it out. It's not too late. If you would like to be part of our 365, you can go to our foundation webpage, which is www. Peoria Public School pbsfoundation.org, and there's a link to donate. So the idea is 365 days, $1 a day to go directly to support our students in the work the foundation does, from emergency funds to bringing career and college readiness experiences directly into the classroom, to grants and scholarships. I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee. But that is exactly what we're here to talk about today with the amazing Sarah Fletcher from the Community Foundation of Central Illinois. The Peoria Public Schools Foundation does quite a lot of different types of work. But one of the things we started with almost 30 years ago, when the foundation was conceived, and continue to do, is support classroom grants for our teachers and staff in Peoria Public Schools, and scholarships for our students going on to college. And then we also have some summer experience scholarships for middle school students. And we are just very fortunate to work in partnership with the Community Foundation to administer and distribute those grants. So I thought Sarah would be a great person to come on, and we can kind of chat about that. So Sarah, and I was told you, I pulled up your title. So she is officially the Director of Grants and Community Initiatives. But welcome, Sarah. Thanks for joining us tonight. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks for having me.
Just why don't you tell us a little bit about the Community Foundation and kind of the work that you guys do within Central Illinois.
Sure. So our community foundation, sir, is the Community Foundation of Central Illinois. So we serve a 50-mile radius of Peoria, of the city of Peoria. So that typically, most of our work probably encompasses the Tri-County area, so Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties. And that's where a lot of our scholarships are targeted. But in most of the ways that we interact with the community are through our competitive grants, which is how most nonprofits or organizations like schools know us. So in all of the ways that we grant, last year we granted $5.4 million into the community. So that's through our competitive grants, that's through donor advised funds, and just a variety of things that we do to support the community, including scholarships.
That's wonderful. That's, what a huge resource. We are very fortunate and grateful that not only do we work in conjunction with you on some of the scholarships and grants that we do, but we've also been the recipient for some of our programming on different grant funds, and just a tremendous resource in our community to really make sure things are getting done. So moving in, just to clarify, you guys do grants for and scholarships for all sorts of entities, but specifically today what we're going to talk about a little more detail is what you guys do in conjunction with the Peoria Public Schools Foundation. So
correct.
We have scholarships that are specifically designed for Peoria Public School students. And then we also have grants, and that grant cycle will come up in the fall, that are designed for classrooms and teachers in Peoria Public Schools.
Correct. Yeah. So the classroom grants that we did with you guys this year, which is where the teachers submit projects or proposals for projects, So that's funded through two different funds that we have at the Community Foundation. One is the Yeoman's Fund, and then the past couple years we actually added the Peoria Next Foster Fund, which is specific to STEM projects, so science, technology,
Yeah,
engineering, and
great.
math projects, which has been really nice because I know you guys have your field
Yeah.
experience, and pairs really well with that. So this past year, it was over 27,000 that was
Wow.
awarded to Peoria Public Schools teachers for classroom grants, and that some of that comes from the foundation money as well.
Right.
But those are always really fun to review and work through the committee with to see what the teachers are proposing to do in their rooms, and then when we see pictures and get feedback of the impact that it's made on the students, it's really great.
Yeah, those granting opportunities and opportunities in the classroom can just really make a tremendous impact on the quality of education for our students. Just the innovative ideas that our teachers come up with, I think they're always so exciting to read and see, and then when you see them in practice, how excited the kids are to do the activities from the grants. Those are great. So if you were a teacher and you were interested in applying for one of these grants, kind of what's the process and how would you go about that if you haven't done it before?
Sure. So I work with Jen Adler to get all
The
of the
great Jen
information.
Adler from the
Yes,
foundation. Yeah.
Jen is fantastic. So we usually work together, and she gets the website all updated. So on the Community Foundation page, but then also on the Peoria Public Schools page, there's information about the application. Typically, we do a grant workshop. We didn't last year, and we possibly
COVID.
didn't the year before, but this year we're going to do a grant workshop.
Yeah, that's
It's on
exciting.
April 5th, and so Cindy,
And we'll get out a lot of information on this. So if anyone's, jotting down quickly on that, that information will come out through the district and emails for district Peoria Public School teachers. So
absolutely. So we've got that scheduled, and Cindy and I usually present at that, and we go through the application and what we're looking for, and then they open. I believe it's in September. So once school gets back in next year and people get a little chance to get settled, and I believe they usually do beginning of October. So it would be for the 22-23 school year.
And do you kind of remember some types of granting activities that have been awarded in the past, just to give people some ideas? I can think of some stuff that was done at Richwoods in their chemistry class. And I know there was an art project that they did at Rolling Acres, but what are some ones that stand out in your mind?
Yeah, so this year there were, as with every year, there's a variety. Some of the STEM grants, I know at Richwoods, there was Getting Kids Excited About Science, and that's where the Richwoods High School Science Club was going to start an after-school science club at Keller and possibly Northmore.
Excellent.
So high school science club students would advertise the club and identify science learning goals for students, design activities, and then lead the meetings. So the primary school science club would meet one day per week, and then they would work with the high school, and it would culminate in a science fair to show off the student projects to their parents. Another one of the STEM grants I know was at Woodruff, the Career and Technical Center. They did a horticulture and greenhouse design and aeroponics. So it was a project to have vertical aeroponics garden tower systems,
Oh, very cool.
which is very detailed and interesting to read about. So that way that they could grow plants indoors throughout the winter months and show them different ways to grow plants with limited outdoor space. So those are a couple examples of some of the STEM grants this year. There's usually grants for specific books related to projects that the teachers want to do with the classrooms, some art stuff. It's just so innovative and creative, the proposals that the teachers come up with.
And I think that, what I find is that the grant application is, from what I've seen, is not super complicated.
No.
It's very user friendly. And if you have an idea, it's worth it to put the grant out there and see what people think. And we try to fund as many grants as we can. If for some reason your grant isn't funded one year, that does not mean it's not a fabulous idea and not to apply again.
Yeah.
So, I think those grants are really create some innovative ideas and opportunities for our students. I know those are specific to Peoria Public Schools and the grants that we do.
Correct.
Do you have any grants, while we're on the grant topic, that are open for more general for the community that are coming up right now?
Absolutely. So, yeah, so the classroom grants that we just mentioned, those are specific to Peoria Public Schools teachers and other staff if they're doing programming in some way. So, in general, the Community Foundation has a few different grant cycles each year. We actually just kicked off our spring grant cycle, which includes animal welfare grants that focus on like the spay and neuter and care of pets. And then also we have our community arts and the arts mean business grants. So local 501c3 nonprofit organizations that are doing art programming, and there's a few different areas of focus for that. Within the arts, it could be arts education, performing arts, music and cultural activities, sculpture or fine art display, or art therapy initiatives.
Yeah.
So all of those are things that could be applied for funding through the community arts grants, and those are up to 5,000. Those are due the first Wednesday in March, so I think that's March 2nd this year. And then the other arts fund that we have is called it's called the Arts Mean Business. And that fund was established to support the generation of economic growth related to the arts through arts tourism or increased successful arts businesses, greater community participation in the arts. And normally that one is up to 2,500, but we actually had a really big bump this year in that because they wanted the funders want to do something big and innovative. So it's up to 25,000.
Wow,
that
that's
the
huge.
organization can apply for.
That's
So,
exciting.
yeah, so the Art Guild has been funded for their art fair through that before. So things that generate, tourism and just the economic impact of the arts. So those are spring grants that we have going on right now. And then in the fall, those will open up in July. We have our community needs grants, which is our most broad category. So that's where like Peoria Public Schools receives funding for the Horizons programs, which can be educational programs, community development. It's a pretty wide variety that those grants fund. And then also in the fall, we have our local jobs fund that you guys got last year.
Yeah, we're so excited about that.
Yeah, which is awesome. So that focuses on job training programs that help people earn more than minimum wage and really hone in on a specific skill, which Woodruff was funded for the renewable energy program, which we were really excited to
And
tour.
it was such a huge boost to that new renewable energy program at Woodruff. And anybody out there has not been to Woodruff, it's an amazing school. It was always a great school, but they really are utilizing it in a lot of innovative career and college readiness programming. So the renewable energy is a new career pathway that students can choose their junior and senior year in high school. So they would go to school part of the day and then go to Woodruff part of the day and learn that skill so that they can apply it after graduation and go right into a career. So we were very grateful for that support and funding to pair with some other funding we had to get that pathway up and going for our students.
Yeah, that was a really cool program. We were excited to fund that and see all the great things you guys are doing at Woodruff.
Yeah, so moving off of the grants a little bit, another thing you do and we partner with is scholarships for students. And as I said, most of those scholarships are for graduating seniors moving into college. And these are scholarships that we're going to talk about that are specifically designed for students in Peoria Public Schools.
Correct.
So, do
Yeah.
you
So
hold
there,
scholarships for other school districts as well?
we do. So we have a variety. So there's kind of a combination. We have all of the scholarships that we hold the funds for that you guys manage that are very specific to Peoria Public School students, and then we have a variety of other scholarships. Some of them specific to Peoria Public Schools, some of them more broad. So one of actually our biggest scholarship fund that we have is a nursing scholarship.
Oh, great.
And it's called our Jean M. Brown Nursing Scholarship Fund. And Jean Brown was an occupational nurse and decided to leave us a wonderful gift in her estate. So to date, that particular fund has granted 1.3 million in nursing scholarships since 2002.
What a generous gift that she gave
Yeah,
to be able to start something like that.
Amazing. So if people are interested in nursing, that one's featured on our website. Absolutely check that out. That one's open to Tri-County, so Peoria, Woodford, and Tazewell. So we've got a few other ones. We have 2 different scholarships with the Peoria Chiefs. So one of those are each $2,000. One of them is for specific to Peoria Public Schools for someone who's majoring in sports administration.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, let me correct myself. I think I said that wrong. There's one that's just generally for Peoria Public Schools, and then the sports administration, it can be in the Tri-County area. So Peoria, Tazewell, or Woodford counties, those any schools within there. So those are $2,000 each, so a good chunk of money. We have one called the Jobs Fund scholarship, and that is to a graduate of Peoria City Schools, and it's someone who's pursuing an education at a technical or vocational school.
Great.
That's a good scholarship as well. Let's see what else. We've got a Women in Leadership scholarship that's we help fund or hold the fund for the local Women in Leadership chapter. That one's for non-traditional students. You have to be a woman out in the workforce for a few years. So if anybody's interested in that, that is for a woman who is pursuing higher education in business or management. We have an epilepsy scholarship fund. So an individual that deals with epilepsy is eligible for that. So some of them are very specific.
Yeah.
A Vietnam Veterans Fund scholarship. So grandchildren of any Vietnam veterans. So it's just a pretty wide variety. So on our website, the scholarship tab lists all of the scholarships that we have available. There's a few that are specific to school. So Peoria High, there's 3 or 4 that are specific to Peoria High School students. And I know you guys have more that are specific to all the Peoria students.
Right.
There's one that is specific to Richwoods High School. So it's a long list. It takes a little bit to go through it, but it's definitely worth checking out.
So I think that's great advice if somebody watching or a student watching has a student who's getting ready to graduate. I would certainly talk to your counselors in your building. Mm-hmm. They really can direct you to scholarships that might be appropriate and applicable. Look on the Peoria Public School Foundation web page, ppsfoundation.org, or on the Community Foundation page, and you'll find some variety of scholarships. But I do think your counselors in your buildings are a really good resource on what scholarships are available, what is coming up, and when they're due, and kind of the bits and pieces you need to apply for the scholarships.
Correct. Yeah, most of the ones that we manage opened at the beginning of January and are due the first week of March, usually around the third week of January. So next week I've got scheduled, I send out a reminder to all of the counselors in the Tri-County area, just to say, hey, don't forget to check this. And some of them that we have, that are really specific to school, I try to send extra reminders to, because the ones that are specific are a little harder to get applicants for, but we really want to make sure we're utilizing those funds and getting them out there.
Yeah, we do. We have scholarships that are specific to each of the high schools, and then we also have, I know we have a scholarship that is specific to the university that you're attending as well. In fact, one is the university and the major. So, so there's a lot of variety out there that people will want to have their student check out, and and see what's available for that student.
Right. We also, another one that we have that I forgot is the Stanisic Scholarship. And that one, that's a 4-year scholarship. It's $2,000 a year for 4 years. So we only award it every 4 years. But that one is for individuals interested, working towards a degree within the music or healthcare field.
Oh,
So
that's great.
something for everybody.
Yeah. Well, those are really amazing opportunities, and I know they're important for a lot of students in their as they look towards college and in their college journey.
And it's the same online the same application system that we use for the teacher grants is for the scholarships. So it's very user friendly. It's straightforward. But if the students have questions when they're filling those out, my contact information is on there, and they can absolutely reach out.
Certainly, and yes, and I put that out there too. You can reach out to the foundation, or as I said, your counselors will be very knowledgeable in helping you fill out those applications. So before we have a couple minutes, so one thing we like to do on Buzz Chats is get to know our people in the community, and just our community partners, kind of know them better, and so we always throw out some fun questions. And I was on another thing today, and they were asking me a little bit about my favorite places in Peoria and what I like to do. So I wondered that about you, like what are some things, what's your Peoria life, what are some things about Peoria that you like to do or go to or hang out? I know, pandemic, we haven't been hanging out much, but
I was gonna say we haven't done a lot.
Yeah.
So I live in Washington actually, but I used to live in Peoria. But I've grown up pretty much in Woodford and Tazewell County. So I've got the Tri-County area covered. I'm good. So in Peoria though, as far as like restaurants, I really like the Heights. I love Cayenne.
Oh yeah,
their tacos.
I
love So Chic, the shop over in the Heights, is like one of my favorite stores. So I love that area. If we're gonna go, we haven't gone in a couple of years now, mind you. But if we're gonna go for like a nice dinner, we love Connected. So we have a 1-year-old daughter now, so we have not done very much of that at all within the past 2 years for a variety of reasons. But yeah, those are some things that
are fun. I have to tell you, when she's a little older this summer, I think Sid's is a really great place to take
Sid's is good.
Kids. The food's good. They have food that she'll probably be able to eat at that point. And it's just a really easy place, to be outside on their giant patio, and the park's right there. And so I've always found Sid's is one of my favorite places to take my children when they were younger.
That's true. That's a good one. Yeah, I do like Sid's. So, and she hasn't been there. She hasn't been a lot of places.
Sure, pandemic. She probably, yeah. Why would you take her out? But
yeah.
So since it's we've all been kind of stuck, and I feel like recently we've been back home again a little bit. So what are you guys doing? I know you have a baby, but so you gotta take care of a baby. But do you have a TV show you're binge watching, or anything fun that you're reading, or?
I haven't. The most recent thing I read was probably last year when I was pregnant, and it was like baby books, what to expect, and all that good stuff. We read a lot of Goodnight Moon.
Oh yeah.
Goodnight Baboon is also a good one. I do like the show Yellowstone.
I've heard. You know what? I was trying to find that the other day, and my sister's like, "What's on Paramount?" I was like, "That is very complicated."
Yeah, we do have cable, but I like that, and there was a show on Netflix that a few months ago when I kind of binge watched called Virgin River. It's kind of like
I think I've heard of that one. I haven't.
Yeah,
watched
it's kind of like
either.
if a Hallmark movie was a show.
Then I will love it.
Kind of. Yeah, that honestly, Hallmark is probably the channel that I watch the most.
Yeah, I go through a serious Hallmark binge phase too.
Yep.
As soon as those Christmas movies come up, I'm there.
Man, I'm telling you, those are the best.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being on Buzz Chats with us. And
thanks for
sometimes,
having me.
you talked about living in Washington. I really haven't. I don't go to Washington very often, so I'll have to go check out Washington.
There's a lot of cute shops on the square.
Heard that.
Yeah,
There's a
they have
lot of
some.
stuff.
And then in the summer, actually, they stay open late on Thursdays, and they'll have food trucks come,
Oh, that's fun.
and so to kind of help gain some business and some attraction to the square during the week.
Yeah, fun.
And they'll have like bands and music, so it's kind of fun. So come
Yeah,
check it
I'll have to
out.
check it out. I'll have to check it out. Well, for our audience, don't forget the Peoria Public School Foundation scholarships are opening, and check out the website. The counselors will know. Please look for our grants as they come for classrooms. And what was that date again that we're doing the grant workshop?
April 5th,
April 5th.
I believe, at 4
And-
p.m.
And there will be information for staff and teachers on that the district will send out. But we invite all of you to come and kind of learn the little tricks of the trade and more information about supplying or submitting for grants for your classrooms. Sarah, really great to chat with you as always.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
you
Trish.
taking time away from your family and meeting with us tonight. And next month, we will be back on Buzz Chats, second Thursday, and we hope to see you all then. Thanks so much. Don't forget 365, it's not too late. Please come to our website and check out all the work we do. Thanks.
Thanks, Trish.
Bye.